officially welcoming you to the Compliance Masterclass. So if you're here and you want to get into compliance, KYC, AML, Sanctions, GDPR, then you are in the right place. I would just like two people to tell me why they are here today, the reason why they joined this session, just for us to know the angle everybody's coming from. Okay, we have Azonta. Okay, you can go on, Azonta.
Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Go on, I can hear you.
We can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my name is Asomta, and I have previous years of experience in the banking sector from Nigeria. And basically, for me, coming over here, I've been in health and care for some years as well, which I honestly do not find fulfilling. And I've applied to lots of KYC and AML roles, but I've not even gotten an invite for an interview. And I've really been seeking. I really didn't know the certifications that I needed to get into that role. Because the truth is, based off what I have done in the past in terms of job wise and the roles I'm seeing, they are the same thing. But, like they would always prefer the UK experience. So somehow I just stumbled on I think an Instagram advert by someone. I think he was Yeti Splash or so. Yeah, Yeti Splash. Yeah, so talking about the UK Compliance Bootcamp and all of that. So that was how I felt like, okay, yeah, I think this is for me, the opportunity I've been looking for. So that was how I sort of followed up. Even though the advert she was talking about was, I think was the one that was done in September. But yeah, I followed up, made inquiries, and then found that there was another one coming up on the 28th of February. So for me, I just feel like, you know what, this is just what I've been looking for. This is what I need, and believing and praying and hoping that this would be just that turning around point I need in my life and in my career. So at the end of this program, I'm hoping to transition completely into compliance and governance and all of that. So yeah, that's for me why I'm here.
Okay, thank you for joining us. And you're right place. With RKY Bootcamp, you're going to position yourself. It's one of the things that people go through when they migrate to the UK, where you have the experience, but because you don't have UK experience, you like get sidelined. And with RKY Bootcamp, you not only brush up on the knowledge you already have before, you learn new things, and it also comes with a year work experience that position you so that recruiters will notice you. I mean, with the RKY experience, which is a UK experience on your CV, you stand a better chance, right? So yes, you are in the right place. And I'm so sure that there are so many people in the same shoes as Abzonta as well. Everyone is in the right place. So one more person before I hand over to the host of today, in person of my boss, Rukayat Alabi. One more person who wants to share with us why they are here and what they hope to gain. Okay, Irede, please share your thoughts with us.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Irede, and I'm a lawyer back home in Nigeria, but I'm not sure if I want to do law here because, here they're just solicitors. They're not solicitors and barristers. You have to pick one. So I'm not really sure I want to have to pick one, which is why I signed up for this masterclass to see if I could pivot into compliance, since it's something that we do as lawyers back home. So I'm hoping to gain some clarity on what compliance is like here, then move on from there. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Irede. I'm going to hand over to the CEO now. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning. I hope we are well.
Yes, we are. Good afternoon.
Beautiful. This is a free webinar. There's no payment for entry. It's completely free, and we're going to be learning about the compliance space, how it works in the UK, and what you need to what you need to equip yourself with to thrive in this industry here in the UK. Fantastic. So now let's talk about compliance. But before we talk about compliance, let's do a little bit of intro. We've heard from you where you're joining from, what you're currently doing. Now, let's tell you a little bit about the RQI Group. So, RQI Group is a dynamic group of companies, that is dedicated to bridging the gap between opportunities and talents, and especially for underrepresented professionals, immigrants, professionals in the UK. And we are a range of companies starting from RQI Careers, which is like the host company for today's webinar. RQI Careers is a multi-award winning education technology company that helps with practical experience focused trainings and boot camps across data analysis, business analysis, project management, compliance, product management, digital marketing, and so much more. And we've trained over 10,000 and helped over 5,000 people to get into jobs. And yeah, we are also, with our impact has been recognized with prestigious awards across the UK and globally as well. And that's with RQI Careers. With Apply Body is an AI-powered job application as a service, so where we help people apply to jobs, because we found that, a lot of people within the underrepresented communities, they have a lot on their plates. They're trying to transition, they're trying to get a good job, they're trying to apply to jobs, they're doing so much more. So we found that some people will do boot camps, and after the boot camp, the CV they get after we enter in there, into the shelves and start gathering dust. But rather than that happening, we set up, we have another company that help people apply to jobs, basically. We've got Limitless Without Borders, which is a networking and tech events. And the next one is going to be happening June 27. So this is like an event that is open not only to the RQI Careers community, but the entire, like the bigger community within the African and immigrants and Black ecosystem in the UK at large. So the last one we had in London, we had about 1,200 attendees in the room, which makes it the biggest event for immigrants, or Nigerians or Black, in the UK, where, the event was put together by us and for us, with issues related to us being discussed there. Before we started Limitless Without Borders, I personally, as the CEO of RQI Careers, I used to go to events, I used to network with a lot of people, even within the Black space. And what I found is that a lot of people that are not immigrants, they can't actually relate to. So even if they say they are creating diversity and inclusion initiatives, most of those initiatives do not still cover. So imagine, when they set up a group of people to solve a problem, and those people that are trying to solve the problem are not actually within that, they are not even facing, they don't even know that problem even exists. And that was why we created our own for us, because most of the AI initiatives, they don't even talk about anything related to sponsorship. They don't even know they don't even know that there's that problem. They have the problems they are trying to solve, which also applies to the Black people in general in the UK, but they don't cover for issues that are specifically affecting immigrants, Africans. Like, for instance, if you want to apply for investment mortgage, there's some kind of, the general and conventional banks they don't give mortgages, right, to immigrants. If you are on a visa, if you are not a British citizen or settled yet, you can't get an investment. I didn't say residential. There are different kinds of mortgages. You can't get mortgages for like buy to let and all those things, from like the Barclays, the HSBC, right? But now imagine you going to a property related event that is not for people like you. They will be talking about solutions, but the solutions they are talking about does not still solve your own peculiar situation, which is the reason why it's always good to be in communities where, they are actually attending to situations that actually affect you in particular. Do you get? And their solution also takes into consideration, right, your issues. That's the reason why inclusion is very important. We also need to get into those top positions where we can be on the table, and where solutions that are being provided for us, right, cover us, do you get, and solve our actual problems. Not that they will end up ticking the box that those problems are solved, but we are still left high and dry. That's why we created Limitless Without Borders. This is happening June 27 this year. The venue is yet to be confirmed, but make sure you are in that room. Make sure you are in that room, because we'll be talking about different ways from career, to how to make sure you get, live fulfilling lives and get to that next step from your career to your business. If you want to start a business, to property, to like immigration, we're bringing, people that can help you understand how to actually settle in the UK beyond even COS and all those things. So make sure you are in that room, right? We have a lot of success stories of people that have been in that room that after leaving, they set up their companies. I even attended an event personally in Birmingham just last month from the outcome of that event. One of the attendees left the event with the information and network and everything she needs. She set up her company. Now the company is not just doing well, she is now hosting her own events, where I was also invited to speak as one of her supporters. So what am I trying to say? Make sure you're in that room, because the ticket sales is going to start anytime from now. It's not an expensive event. I'm not even sure the ticket is up to £50, so I don't see any reason. And guess what, regardless of where you are in the UK, you should make your way down. We have people always traveling from Manchester to Sheffield, from Manchester, from Sheffield, from Birmingham down to London for the event. So make sure you don't miss it when the time is here. We also have the RKY Business Hub, formerly called Immigrants Founders Network. This is tailored to people that are trying to start a business right in the UK, or that have ideas in their head they want to turn to successful businesses. We have the RKY Digital Solutions as well, where we help people, where we get projects that our students also get to work on for their work experience parts. So I've said a lot about RKY careers. You can see the awards we've won here in the UK and beyond, from top 25 changing the face of education. And guess what? As immigrants, as Black, as whatever you may call it, it's not easy for your work to be all out there, and it's not easy for your work to be out there. Talk more of you even getting recognized for it. But we have done that because our work and our impact, our success story have actually proven that we are who we say we are. We are even more than we say we are. And that's what we're also trying to create for the community, because we know that not a lot of we have a lot of immigrants that are really doing well in their careers and their businesses, but they struggle to get that limelight. That's why awards is also included as part of the things we do in the LWB events too, right? So that's a little bit about myself. I'm the CEO of RQI Group, all the companies, and I've also won a lot of awards on the personal basis, being an entrepreneur, being the founder of RQI Careers, being a coach, a mentor, right? And I'm also a member of the Forbes Coaches Council. I've been featured on Forbes. I also published a book, Limitless and Thriving, which is available on Amazon. Is about helping myself, yourself, people like us to navigate change, setbacks, and new beginnings. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me. So like when I say we've helped over 10,000 people, we've trained over 10,000 people, we've helped over 5,000 people, get jobs. How have we done this? Through our programs, our services, our trainings, ranging from data analysis and business intelligence to project management and business analysis to advanced Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint, Scrum Master, Products Manager, digital marketing, compliance, KYC, AML, and our standalone services like the CV optimization, career advisory, interview preparation, LinkedIn optimization, professional portfolio, full career rebrand, and the business coaching programs as well. So now let's talk about compliance. I know I've talked about a wide range of things that might not be compliance related, but guess what? These are very important things for us to know. So if you're one of those persons too that said you are not in a community yet, the RQI community is definitely one you want to join, because we're a holistic community. We don't just train you. You get to also get the exposure you need across all the important areas of living fulfilling life, right? And so now let's talk about compliance. Before I give you guys expo, what does compliance mean to you? Based on where you are right now, what you do right now, or what your experience is, what does compliance mean to you? I just need one word in the comment section. So we're going to keep the interactions in the comments, in the chat box, to make things, very fast and smooth. So what does compliance mean to you? I just need one word or a description of what compliance means to you. adhering to regulations. Please, let's keep the interactions very, very fast so that we can, move fast. Okay, Azomta says adhering to regulations. Quite smart, quite very accurate. Taiwo says governing rules and regulations. Fidola says obedience. I love that. Joseph says conforming to standards. Beautiful. Blessing says following due process. Accurate. You guys are so smart. Now let's get right on with my own definition of what compliance is. So compliance is just like you've said, adhering to regulations, and these regulations would change from industry to industry, from organization to organization. That's why each organizations have policies that guide their activities and operations. The same way governments, different countries, we have different policies for immigration, for this, for that. And it's the same way, across industries, compliance is very much necessary, right? So it's multifaceted and it involves adhering to rules, regulations, standards, and ethical principles within a specific context. So the context will differ. And that's why compliance happens to be an in-demand role, regardless of the industry. So whether it's within a governmental organization or industry, it encompasses a broad range of activities aimed at ensuring that an activity operates in a lawful, ethical, and responsible manner. So in the context of what we're going to be talking about today, what does compliance entail? It's a fundamental aspect of conducting operations within the UK, right? I mean, I know we have some jurisdictions, areas where, yes, there are policies, but there's not a lot of implementation processes or sanctions put in place, but not here in the UK and not even in other global economies. We don't joke with compliance. Compliance is very key for every rule they put in place. As they're putting the rule, they're putting policies in place to make sure that these rules are confirmed to, and they're putting sanctions in place as well to ensure that if you don't comply, I don't know if any of you have heard about the kind of amounts that financial institutions here are always penalized on if they actually go against the rules that have been set. It doesn't run in millions, so sometimes it's billions, sometimes it's millions, sometimes it's not even. Some companies that have not even made profits, they're already paying penalties, right, on those in those companies, basically. So it covers areas such as financial regulations, data protection, anti-money laundering, GDPR, and many more. Right. So what are the essentials if you want to get into the compliance space, right, across industries? What are the important things for you to take note of? So the first one is the industry knowledge. Right. So the industry you are getting into, you have to have that industry knowledge. If it's the legal space, you have to have the legal knowledge. If it's the banking space, you have to have that knowledge. So a deep understanding of relevant UK laws and regulations is very important if you want to get into the compliance space, including industry-specific regulations. So compliance professionals must always keep up to date with changes. You might not be doing calculations in compliance or programming, but there's one thing you must do, which is to stay abreast of whatever new policies are out and how it affects your company. You must actually be open to reading and understanding what happens in your company, in your industry. So another thing is the regulatory framework. You must familiarize yourself with the specific regulatory bodies and agencies relevant to your field. So I'm going to throw another activity at us right now. I wonder how many people responded to my last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 5 people. I think we can do better. For the industry and the field, and this one applies to everybody, where you work right now, tell me the regulatory body that governs your industry. Who is your regulatory body? And then I will try to guess your industry. Okay, let's do that quick game. So tell me in the comment section, what's the regulatory, it could be multiple ones as well. What's the regulatory body that governs your industry? Fantastic. I'm seeing we can do better. We can do better, guys. Fantastic. I see FCA. I can tell that very easily. FCA is that's Financial Conduct Authority, and that's the banking, financial sector. Fantastic. We've got Ofsted. Ofsted is obviously the health and care industry, as particularly the children, right? Like below a certain age. So they guide like nurseries, early year settings, right? FCA, fantastic. That's financial industry. CQC and GMC. I know CQC is also health and care, but I don't know GMC. What's GMC? Okay, Mommy also says CQC. Fantastic. You guys should come up with the ones I've never heard before. Let's make this very interesting and challenging. General Medical Council, fantastic. Gov.uk, fantastic. I think that would be civil service, right? HMT Treasury, I think that would also be civil, HMRC, right? Or civil service. Let's make, like, I want to hear, the last time I did this, I was seeing some ND something, NFIU, EFCC. There's nobody in Nigeria here. Okay, fantastic. Let's keep it coming. NMC, that's a nurse. Okay, Nursing and Midwifery Council, fantastic. So that's good, because one of the most important things you want to do is to know, you need to know who your regulator for your industry is. Because if you don't even know who the regulator is, how can you even know whose policies, whose news you should be listening to? And because I know that as a health and care person, if you hear CQC, your ears would, it will trigger your ears to listen more, because it's related to your industry. But imagine if you don't even know, and you are hearing there's a new rule, but you don't even know. It's just like Home Office now, for instance, for anything related to immigration. Any news that comes out of Home Office, I'm sure that all of you, everybody's ears, are up to hear what's the new thing, what's the new, and all of that. So it's very important, for the financial institutions. It might be FCA, just like you've said. It might be ICO, which is the Data Protection Information Commission Office. Then training and education, it's very important. There's no point you get in your career, especially in this space, where you would know, or you need to keep taking trainings, education, very necessary to ensure that employees understand compliance requirements and how to meet them. Also, data protection and privacy measures. You need to understand how GDPR works in your industry and your company. What are the policies that, what does confidentiality mean? You need to understand your data protection, being compliant with data regulations, including GDPR, is very crucial. Also, financial compliance. Financial institutions must have robust AML and CFT measures to prevent money laundering and financing. So essentials for the compliance field, just to be sure we are all on the same page, because I know I've started mentioning some abbreviations. I hope everybody here, can you tell me what you think AML means? What does AML mean to you? Put it in the chat box. Also CFT, what does CFT mean, and what does GDPR means? Right. So these are very important things that you need to actually know, because nobody would say it as anti-money laundering when you are working. They would usually just say the abbreviation, but that is industry accepted. Fantastic. And CFT, what does CFT means? I think we've had a lot of attempts on anti-money laundering. So if you don't know what AML is, now you do. And CFT is counter financing of terrorism. Is it counter financing or combating financial? Is it counter or combating? What does CFT mean, guys? Counter financing of terrorism. Fantastic. So let's get right on to it. So with regards to other skills you need to know, GDPR, nobody has told us what GDPR is. Nobody has told us what GDPR is. What does GDPR mean? Right. So what are the other skills you need to have to actually thrive in the compliance space? So in as much as it's good to be technical, there are some skills that are very add-on, that are very important as add-ons that you must have regardless of the career path you are exploring. Thank you, guys. General data protection regulation, fantastic. And we have different policies. We have the EU, we have the UK, we have different jurisdiction, of what this actually covers. So one of the skills you must have as a compliance professional is analytical skills. You must be able to analyze and identify risks associated with non-compliance and implement measures to mitigate them. You must have problem-solving skills, regardless of the career path you are exploring. You must be able to solve problems, and not just identify them. You must actually be able to recommend solutions. As you've identified the problem because of your attention to detail, you must also use your problem-solving skills to make recommendations. Oh, I've identified, you're speaking to your manager, you're telling your manager, I've identified these problems, and I think this are the solution. Is up to them, to now implement your recommendations. But do not always be someone that just sees problem and cannot even think. Because when you see problem for the first time, they will appreciate it. Second time, then other times they'll be like, why are you always just seeing the problem? Why can't you even come up with how we can solve it? You can't just dump. Because most of the time when you even see problems, if you don't already do your research proactively, they would make it your responsibility to solve the problem. Then communication skills as well, articulating complex regulations and compliance requirements to various stakeholders in a very understandable manner. In fact, that one does not even need me reading those. The communication skills, if you want to work and thrive in 2026, I don't know if communication skills is very important, both from the writing perspective, writing correct mails to stakeholders in a very professional manner with etiquettes and all of those things. Presentation, putting your thoughts on a slide in a very beautiful, attractive, and at the same time, not taking out the important information you're passing is very important, as well as speaking, being able to articulate your thoughts, present your slides. Communication skills, very, very important. You can't do without it. The same with stakeholder management skills, the same with ethical judgment and integrity, because you are in that role where you are supposed to catch the thief. So you yourself, you must be held in a very, high, you must have high integrity standards. The same with confidentiality. When you're working in this industry, you'll be dealing with, data that are very confidential, PEPs, this. You can't go out and say, oh, did you know that I was the one that checked the... So you mentioned the name of the popular person. This person is in trouble. I'm the one that checked. I'm the one that did. This person has a marker. I know because I'm the one that worked on it. No, if not, there won't be that standard anymore. So other skills needed in the compliance field, in addition to all the ones we've mentioned, from risk assessment, must be able to assess risk. Is actually part of your deliverable, to assess a risk and call it out as medium, low, or high risk. Documentation and record keeping. If it's just like in the banking system back in Nigeria, you can't say, oh, I saw the person's ID, I saw their signature. If it's not documented, if it's not in the file, it doesn't exist. And when the audits happen, is what's in the file that they use, to judge whether or not the bank has done what they're supposed to do. If it's not in the file, then it wasn't. There's also like I collected the ID card when they opened the accounts, but it fell out later. It must be documented. I saw it. It's not just about seeing it. You must document it. I remember then when I used to work in the bank, when I used to be on, the KYC desk as well. Not only will you see, you will write original cited, you sign, we used to call it put your blood on it. You put your name on it, you put your signature on it, and then you file it. If you do all of that, if it's not filed, then it doesn't exist. It means you didn't see it. It means you are the one that decided to take that action, because there's no, there's nothing in the file to show that the customer actually requested for it, or there's nothing in the file to show that the customer actually provided that information. So it means that now we've opened accounts for somebody, we don't know where they live, we don't know who they are, we don't even know if they are real. And that is why that is why the bank and the regulatory bodies of banks fine banks if they don't find what they're supposed to find in the right place. So documentation in your role is very important. Even looking beyond that, as somebody working in corporates in the UK and anywhere, You have to document. From even document, not just even documenting your day to day, even your achievements, your milestones, document, have a brag sheet as well. And these are extra tips, for career growth as well. I'm sharing. You need to find it, you need to just document. If your manager says do this today, document, because tomorrow manager can say, I'm not the one that told him to do it. You need to document and keep records officially. If somebody use mouth to say do this, and you know that what the person has told you to do is funny, just go to your email and send an email to the person. Hello, and that's where communication and stakeholder management comes in. Thank you for this thing. Kindly confirm how many of this thing you said I should do. Let the person use an email to tell you, oh, do it, don't do it. Those are like diplomatic way you can still keep your record. Anyway, don't let's get out of compliance, because GDPR, very, very important. Data protection, I think we mentioned that continuous improvements, you need to keep learning. There's always something. You can't say, I've got it to pick up my career, I'm not reading again. There's nothing like that though. You need to keep reading, you need to keep adding value to yourself. Financial sanctions, strategic thinking, KYC, AML. I mentioned all of this previously. So now let's talk about the potential career paths, because I know some of you are already falling in love with this career path and you want to know, this career path, can it pay my bills? But the good thing is that it's not one of those fields where, once you get your job, you've gotten to the highest level. There's a wide range of roles you can apply for. There's a lot of career progression opportunities there. You can see KYC analyst roles, from 60K to 40 something to 70. You can position yourself for a wide range of roles, and they're all high paying. You might not get this amount of salary on your first job after the training, but you know that there's a possibility. There's some career paths that if you get into that career path at 30K, you can't even defend why they should pay you a 40K in that particular career path. There's nothing else after that role in terms of the importance of the role and all of that. But in the KYC space, if you even get, in the compliance space, if you get your first role as a KYC analyst, there's a way you can then position yourself plus your previous experience to go higher. There's always something to go for, down to when you get to MLR or Chief Risk Officer or Chief Compliance Officer of the institution you are working in. So why does compliance remain a strong career path? The first one is high demand for compliance professionals. There's a high demand for career professionals across industries, from the legal space to healthcare to financial space to, across industries. There's a very high demand for compliance professionals to ensure things are done the way they're supposed to be done. So businesses and organizations require compliance professionals to help them navigate and adhere to these regulations. Another one is career stability. Compliance is an essential function in various industries, ensuring legal and ethical conduct of businesses. Right. So compliance is that field that that is not going extinct or is not going to be non-necessary, right? Because even if they use technology to capture your data when you're opening the accounts, there are still periodic reviews that are done. The standard is just so high from the regulators that banks or financial institutions or even insurance institutions or legal institutions must ensure that they are the highest standard. They can't leave anything to chance, because the fines and penalty that come from non-compliance is nothing to write them about. If you look at the property space, there's a lot of compliance solicitors that deal with mortgages and all of that. In the UK, for instance, if you want to buy a property, you don't pay directly to the seller. You pay to their solicitors. So it means it's the solicitor's responsibility, and that's why some solicitors are so crazy that before you get to stage of transferring money, the way they will scrutinize you on your bank accounts to be sure that you are not a fraudulent person. You are not, it's not a embezzlement money or fraudulent money that you are using to buy that property, because it's their own account that money will enter. So before the money enters their accounts, they will scrutinize, and that's why they need compliance persons on their team too, because it's the compliance persons that will do that KYC, that will do that. There's always a KYC process that is done before the property purchase process is completed, and that's to let you see how so it's why solicitors need compliance. Even the wealth management and asset management companies, anything that requires money, cash, transfer from one organization to the other, from individual to organization, there's always a need for KYC professionals, for AML professionals, for compliance professionals, to ensure that things are done the way they are meant to be done, to ensure that the source of the money that is going from source A to source B is actually genuine, is not fraud, is not, and so on and so forth. So, diverse career opportunities as well. The compliance field offers a wide range of career opportunities across various sectors, from finance to healthcare. We've talked about that before. Global relevance. Guess what? This field is one of those that is relevant across borders. We have people joining from outside the UK as well that are using these skills. In fact, we have people that have done KYC in their previous roles before, that all they need to do, they did, even though that was not the job title, all they needed to do was to just do like a refresher bootcamp like this as well, to just get UK experience, add to it, and position themselves. So even if you learn today and you have to go to Canada, you can still get a relevant role that is related to this field when you get. If you have to go today back to Nigeria, or if you are in Nigeria at the moment, regardless of where you are, this career path is relevant across board there. Most of even the rules that are different from jurisdiction to jurisdiction are still very similar. It's just little differences they have in terms of the threshold, how strict and how whatever they are, but they still all have the same, what's it called, the higher body that they all mirror. Competitive compensation as well. We've talked about that. Professional growth. Compliance professionals can progress into leadership roles, shaping the compliance culture within organizations and making strategic decisions. Then global regulatory trends. The UK often aligns the regulation with the national standards. So the thing is that because you are even in the UK, that means that, right, you are actually learning like in the best area of things, where things are done right. So anywhere you go, the standard of experience you are going with would always be higher, because you are not coming from, areas where the standard is not as strict. Because, basically. So now let's talk about how RKY Careers Bootcamp works. But before we get there, I would like you guys to do one more thing for me very quickly. What would you like your next, what would you like your next role to be, your next job title? What would you like your next job title to be? Let's drop that in the comment section very quickly. Is it compliance manager? Is it compliance officer? Is it KYC analyst? Is it, just tell me what you would like your next role title to be, just to be sure we're all on the same page. Fantastic. Just to be sure we're enjoying it, All right, so we've got compliance manager, compliance analyst, KYC analyst, CEO RKY. You want to displace my role? Okay, you want to be the CEO of RKY. Fantastic. Compliance risk manager, GRC manager, KYC analyst or compliance manager, KYC analyst and officer, compliance manager. It's good as well. I mean, who knows, in the next couple of years, maybe I want to hand over so that I can just be chairman of the board, right? And then you can be CEO RKY. But we are not in the CEO class today, we're in compliance class. But interesting. Compliance. So now let's talk about how we can help you get there, because I can see that there's an alignment between where you want to be and how and what we can do for you as well. So the RKY Compliance Bootcamp provides comprehensive training aimed at equipping professionals with the knowledge and the skills necessary to navigate the intricate landscape of the UK compliance space. So it's a practical work experience focused training where it's 6 weeks, Saturday and Sundays. It's very robust. And guess what? Unlike every other training that I knew existed before we started the RKY, we are currently enrolling into our 24th cohort right now. None of the core programs that I found in this UK, first of all, they were not tailored to people like me and yourself. And what I mean by that is that if you want to train and get into a career, like, I understand how difficult it is trying to make a decision of the training company to go with, but regardless, whenever it is you are faced with that decision, just go with a training company that trains people like you. Do you get? And what I mean by that is that I remember that when we first started RKY Careers as well, we had people that would go and pay £100 to total jobs, to this and that, to do CVs. They will do those CVs. Those ones don't understand the prejudice that people like us face, and they don't know the things to remove from those CVs to make them get job. And that was why when we started RKY, the number of success stories we had when we were even just doing CV was just out of the world, because a lot of people were getting CV done by, all this, I don't know the names, this CV company, that one. They will do the CV and they'll still leave some words that we know that once employers see those words on your CV, they will remove it. But they don't know that because it has not happened to them. Do you get? So train from companies that they, first of all, they'll make you 100% job ready, like RKY Career will do. And they will train you, a place where you're comfortable to ask all those questions that you're trained, like where you can ask your trainer questions that you won't be able to ask an Oyinbo person. It's an Oyinbo person that is training you. I hope you guys know what I mean. But anyway, let's move forward very quickly. So in RKY Careers, we don't just train you for the job. We also train you to understand everything that goes on in the workplace, from the politics, to knowing your way. So we teach you the way, and we teach you the way, and we teach you the way. For those of you that understand what I mean, for knowing how to manage interviews, the right way to answer questions at interviews, how to say the right things, right? And so it's like so the training is 6 weeks. In the 6 weeks, and I was also saying that before we started, those people that were training in KYC space were just doing KYC training. They were even like side hustle people that would just say, well, I'm a KYC analyst, I can help you, and then they would train you one weekend, and before you know it, we're the first that turned it into like that, put together not just KYC. Like when you're done, you can position yourself for KYC, AML, GDPR, sanctions, financial crime. Like we made it really robust, and we've seen a lot of success stories from it. Let's look at some of them. So these are our Trustpilot reviews, and this is a third-party platform, by the way, where you can just go check what you can go yourself and find it, what people have said, and people's full names are always there, so it's not like doctored or anything. So Adedokun says, my wife shared RKY Careers link with me, and I can say that I had no regrets. The learning experience was great. The CEO and the tutor and the team are one of the best I've ever experienced. Irene says, no regrets whatsoever choosing them. RKY Careers is the best place to learn. Temi says RKY has the best hands in exceptional, the best hands. Has the best hands, exceptional learning session, weekly drop-in session. Okay, and then Ebi Boteyi, the one on the bottom left, also says, I can't thank RKY Careers enough for their outstanding compliance course, which played a pivotal role in landing me my first role in compliance. The course was incredibly well structured with comprehensive content that bridged theoretical knowledge and practical application seamlessly. The instructor was knowledgeable, approachable, and always willing to go the extra mile to ensure we fully understand the materials. The skills and insights I gained from this course not only boosted my confidence, but also gave me a competitive edge in securing my position. RKY didn't just provide training, they provided a stepping stone to my professional success. If you're looking to get into compliance or enhance your skills, I highly recommend RKY Careers. It was truly a game changer for me. So that's particularly about compliance. We have Alisha Banumula. By the way, we have a wide range of people and cultures that join the bootcamp. He also says the team's expertise and personalized supports in education in the job serve and interview prep were invaluable, and so on. And then on the right hand side as well, you can see Google reviews, right? You can see Google reviews. They are all very public. You can search for it and read it up yourself. These are just a few. So what are the perks you get from the bootcamp that takes you to where you really want to be? We have the virtual live training, we have practical case studies, we have quiz, we have projects that will give you experience. So you would start working on cases that you would do on the real job. Real life scenarios would also be taught in the class. UK work reference will be provided for the projects you complete within the bootcamp. CV and LinkedIn optimization will be done at no extra cost. And where this also make a lot of difference for our students is that a lot of people go to train in different places, and then they train them and leave them. They don't help them to put what they've learned now in that. There's something that happens when you've just done the training, especially when you're moving to a new career path. There's a way you'll still be holding back when you're doing your CV, because yes, you now know it, but there's that feeling of not being 100% ready. But if someone else does your CV for you based on what you've been taught, right, when you see the CV, you will not be like, truly I can do all these things, but would I have written all these things on my CV? Or look at it from the angle of, I know where I'm coming from, I know what I've just learned. Put those two together in a way that best positions me. That is what we do with our CV and LinkedIn optimization services, right? Also, you have 12 months access to our learning management system, where you can always come back to what you've learned, to catch up, to read, or to refresh yourself when you have an interview. We also have a truckload of resources, from the alumni resources to like a lot of resources that job readiness related. Then we have certificate of completion. So we will get a CPD certificate, CPD UK and ACTD USA certificate of completion. And we are also listed as a recognized and regulated training provider on the UK government's website. So all of that just gives you the assurance that you are not just training from a side also. This is like a proper edtech company that is accredited, recognized, and even awarded for what they do. And yeah, basically. So who can take this course? Ideal for a wide range of people, from people who are previous bankers or financial professionals moving into compliance, foreign trained lawyers as well. Let's mute ourselves, please. Foreign trained lawyers who have trained or practiced as lawyers or legal professionals outside of the UK, and maybe you just moved to the UK, and if you know someone like that as well, they've just moved to the UK, they were lawyers and they don't or can't afford to do those exams, or are not ready for it, but they don't want to completely leave the legal compliance space as well, you definitely are in the right place. Compliance is actually one of the very related roles that you can still position yourself for. Like I always say, the UK market is actually a very leverage heavy markets. What do I mean? You need to leverage your previous advantage to your own good. So when choosing a course, right, choose a course that aligns well with your previous background, where your background is also an advantage in helping you get a job. CEOs, corporate executives that want to understand how compliance, affects their business and how they can be more compliant in the business as well. Anyone seeking a career in KYC, in compliance, and also people that are risk managers or that are interested in risk-related roles. So what are the competencies you gain in this bootcamp? The comprehensive regulatory knowledge about compliance as a whole, the KYC, robust KYC expertise, AML as well, CFT, transaction monitoring, financial sanctions, data protection, risk assessments, GDPR, and so much more. So what are the roles you'll be able to apply for after the bootcamp? From compliance analyst to compliance officer, AML analyst, risk analyst, data protection officer, regulatory affairs specialist, compliance risk manager, policy and procedure analyst, business compliance analyst, KYC QC, quality control analyst, AML investigator, and so much more. It's not limited to this, because what I used to tell people when they are done with the bootcamp is that your previous background and this skill there's a unique space it creates for you where you are not competing with the entire job market. Find it. Like there's always a role that is a blend, so even if you are doing AML, but you were previously a legal person, you can try to position yourself in the legal space, or you can try to position yourself for bank related roles if you're coming from bank, right? So what am I trying to say? You don't need to compete with the whole world. There are some roles in this UK that are not highly competitive, but they need your combination of skill sets that you have either from back home and this one, or from your previous roles. Now, I know a lot of people want to know, does compliance, have the potential to give me visa sponsorship? The question is yes. These are the codes you can use to position yourself under the compliance space. So you can see legal professionals not elsewhere classified. We have the conveyancers, litigation executives, paralegals, patent and trademark attorneys. And then we have the last one, which is legal professionals not elsewhere classified. So this will apply to people that are foreign trained lawyers who are operating, who get a role as a compliance person in the legal space or legal tech, or there are a lot of fintech companies, by the way, that pay compliance professionals 6 figures. There's so many contracts related roles and even full-time roles that pay 6 figures in this compliance space. If you're looking for like that level of salary, there's so many fintechs in this UK, and they all always need compliance persons on their team. So business and financial project professionals. So under this as well, we can see the list that we have risk managers here. So if you're on the risk side of things, you can get to use that code. Also, we have legal associates professionals not elsewhere classified. This also applies to those on the legal side of things. We have compliance and regulatory professionals as well, code 2482. Then we have probation officers, right? So when it comes to trying to get a job after your training, do not limit yourself to just the popular titles. That's the message here. Okay, so now let's look at some success stories that we have had, out of our 2,500 success stories. So these are some screenshots that people submitted. So the way it works in RQI, when you get a job, you submit, your success story back to us. So that's why when you go to our Instagram page, you always see our success stories as screenshots that people have provided, to us. Okay, who's asking for link? So you can see one second, please. Right, so you can see the training during the bootcamp, the attentiveness and the patience of the teachers, the availability and encouragement of Rookie. It was so worth it and much more. Thank you, RPY Careers. I'm in a much better place in my career because you decided to start this bootcamp. So this is from Ikechukwu, who just landed a regulatory compliance role in the UK after the bootcamp. And the next one, role offered was compliance senior analyst. And success story is, once again, I'd like to thank RQY for their continued support from the initial bootcamp all the way through to my amazing job offer. They have provided endless career development opportunities, ranging from additional courses to one-to-one support from them, experiencing nothing but good words to say thank you. This is from Esther, who landed an AML conflicts analyst role with a law firm in the UK 1 month after the bootcamp. By the way, so as part of the RKY community, we do monthly sessions where we bring, apart from the ones that are already recorded and on the LMS, we have sessions where we bring different experts in, to talk to us either on getting jobs in NHS or civil service. Sometimes it's immigration, sometimes it's innovator visa, sometimes it's global talents visa. There's just always something new to learn. And also you get weekly interview prep. So we are with you every step of, you can't even, it's you that will get tired of us every step of the way. When the boot camp is over, the weekend classes, we now have weekly sessions where you can come in when you now have a job description to get interviewed. And this is different from the interview prep you get from the trainer himself, the one you get from me at the end of the boot camp. Then continuously again, every week, you have the opportunity to still come in, join a session, to say, oh, I have an interview coming up. This is my job description. And then we'll look at it with you. We'll try to, prepare with you as well. Right. Even when you've gotten a job, these sessions you can join just to get on the job support as well and share whatever it is you need clarity with. So that was from Esther. Now the third one says regulatory and unregistered school casework officer, independent education units. Remember I said that in the compliance space there are roles for you across industries, and she said, I attended 14.0 and it was impactful. The course provided clear, practical and industry relevant training across compliance areas including AML, KYC, fraud. The bootcamp significantly strengthened my understanding of the real world compliance expectations and enhanced my confidence in applying these principles in practice. The knowledge and practical skills I gained directly contributed to me successfully securing a compliance role after the bootcamp. I highly recommend RKY Compliance Bootcamp to anyone looking to build a strong foundation in compliance or progress in their careers. And this is payroll governance and compliance specialist in the UK. So what am I trying to say? Like, being part of this, there's so many advantages that we give you, because we know the market is the matter of advantage, and we don't really know only God knows what makes people choose you, or like for interviews or whatever. But what we try to do is that, say for instance, if they need 10 reasons to choose you, we give you even 12 from just attending our bootcamp. Is it the training you now have in your head, or is it the CV we've given you now that is good? Some people, it's just the CV that will be the points for them. Some people, it's the fact that they have a UK company on their CV for work experience. Some people, it's because, of the weekly interview they now attend, where they got what somebody shared last week. So there are so many things you get that could be that changing point for you. So rather than you going to pay for this and that in different places just to get your breakthrough, everything is all part of what you benefit once you join the RKY community. And these are more success stories we have in the compliance space, from KYC analyst to tax compliance systems and data auditor to compliance officer and so on. So these are just a little we've put together. So we have probate officer, onboarding advisor, from support worker to onboarding advisor, from support worker to from health assistant to assistant project manager. Okay, so I think these are just generic success stories as well. Okay, so this is another success story from Olu. Olu says, the UK Compliance Bootcamp with RKY Careers piqued my interest, which turned out to be an impactful and valuable program. I booked the popular RKY Careers to optimize my CV as well for the new role, as I was previously a relationship manager in Nigeria financial institution. With the amazing assistance from Rookie throughout the process, I was able to land multiple interviews with big four corporations and significant financial institutions in the UK after designing my CV and LinkedIn as well. I recently accepted an offer from one of the top 3 financial institutions in the UK following multiple rounds of interview. I also have other offers from other UK businesses and scheduled interviews. Many thanks to Rookie and RKY Careers for the valuable and impactful training and support. I was able to impress my interviewers with my thorough understanding of the UK financial sector, risk, compliance, and even the economy at large. God bless you. So here are some other roles that some of our students have positioned themselves from KYC analyst to compliance manager to finance advisor, AML investigator, senior account officer, KYC quality, data protection officer, central compliance specialist, business compliance specialist, risk and compliance officer, transaction monitoring investigator. So right, I'm sure you guys are tired of listening to my voice, right? I've got a speaker today. And yeah, I'm happy to have Charlotte here. Charlotte currently works as a senior compliance analyst at a leading global consulting firm, implementing compliance processes and conducting multi-jurisdictional risk assessments. She enrolled in RQI Careers Bootcamp, and with a growing interest in risk and governance, I joined the bootcamp to build a strong technical foundation. Anyway, enough of me reading, and I don't know if Charlotte is here to speak to us, but thanks. If you are here, you can take the. Is Charlotte here?
Yes. Hi,
Oh,
Ruki.
fantastic. Hello, Charlotte.
Hey, everyone. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good, good. So yeah,
Right,
thank you, Ruki.
okay. Yeah, please share your experience. We have people on the call who are considering compliance as a career path and also considering, joining the RQI Careers Compliance Bootcamp. Do you want to tell us about your experience from joining the bootcamp down to, getting the offer and, every other thing you got after that as well?
Yes, so my experience was amazing. So my tutor, Lumi at the time, was amazing. The cohort that I was in was a very good experience. I learned so much about compliance. Prior to joining, I didn't have any knowledge or experience about compliance, but the sessions really broke everything down from the beginning to the end, from KYC, AML, and everything that goes with that. So I would definitely recommend your courses to others. It's helped me so much. I'm now at the point where I work for the global leader in consultancy. This is now my second role since I did the course, and it has helped me so much. My first role was in an Islamic finance intermediary, and that helped me to gain more on the job skills, because you don't get that in the course. You have to put yourself out there, go and get the skills, work on the job, and then go into what you need to get into. Anybody who has a legal background or anything like that, you're winning when it comes to compliance in the UK. That's something that I would definitely say. Anybody who has any technical experience, you would be winning in the UK. It's all about transferable skills. Yes, what you have on your CV is helpful, but coming from somebody who had no knowledge, no experience in compliance and being able to be at this position, it is really because of this boot camp why I'm able to do that. So I would definitely encourage anybody to join this boot camp.
Thank you so much, Charlotte, and congrats once again. So you've heard her, right after the bootcamp, she's currently in her second role, this one being a senior role as well. So I don't know if anyone has questions for her, either about the bootcamp, about the industry itself. Do we have any questions for her? Thank you, Charlotte, for making out the time. I'm sure there's so many other places you could be right now rather than be on this call.
Because I'm sure I definitely want to pay it forward. I think that's the minimum that can be done here.
Thank you for that. So do we have any questions for Charlotte? Let me see the chat box if you have any questions for Charlotte at all regarding our experience on the bootcamp, or if you want to pick our brain as well about the industry, what it was like, so what was it like? Okay, let me ask this question on behalf of, so what was it like? You said it clearly that you didn't have any compliance experience. In that your very first role, when you now stepped out in the industry, what was it like in terms of what you learned in the bootcamp and what you did? Was it shocking? Was everything shocking, or did you have that confidence or that familiarity with things on the job and what you have learned in the bootcamp?
I would say it's daunting for anybody. If you have no experience, you're going into something and you're thinking, oh my God, do I know what I need to do here? But the course definitely helps. So, for example, I don't know whether you've covered things like the KYC Bible that we had. I still refer to that to this day. I refer to the KYC Bible and knowing things about, JMLSG. All of these things are useful to know when you're going into any role in terms of compliance. All of these things help me with my confidence and being able to speak to top
shareholders, working with executive management and advise them, because even though they are in a higher position, they don't have the experience in compliance. And that would be where any one of us would come in. So I would say this course is what helped me be able to go into these rooms, sit in a boardroom with the confidence to be able to speak and have that knowledge. Whereas before I would have been like a deer in headlights thinking, what am I doing here?
Fantastic. I totally get it. Fantastic. Because the thing is, confidence comes from a place of knowledge, right? If you can't just, if you have confidence without knowledge, it's more like just fluff, because then when you are tested, you definitely would not have crossed those stages to now being, so having the job, not just one, but moving, progressing, right? So what would you say about the progression as well, because a lot of people have that mindset, right, that compliance roles are even being outsourced day to day, like it's not really like there's no career progression. What would you say about career progression in the compliance space?
Oh, there's absolutely career progression. It may not be straight line progression that people are used to. So for example, you go from a supervisor to a manager within the same firm. Unless you're in a bank, then that would be straight line progression. But I have managed to, within 18 months, I have managed to near enough double my income solely based on this course. There is definitely career progression, especially with what's going on right now in the economy. Every single thing that happens, from politics to the news, it all ties into compliance. Compliance is probably one of the only industries where you will get such exposure to everything that affects regulation. So if we take it outside of a bank, I work in a consultancy. I have to take into consideration every single thing that's going on in the world. The progression line is, there's no ceiling in compliance. There's only a ceiling if you give yourself a ceiling. You could be at a top level for a top business, but with people that you would have never dreamed of, just based on your compliance experience. It is something that is priceless in any industry. The higher you go, the better you are.
Fantastic. I love that. You have to define, because compliance is quite broad. There's the one where you go within the bank from one level to another level down to MLR or whatever. But you can also define where you want to go as well, because compliance is not within just a box. Compliance in health and care is different from compliance in consulting, it's different from compliance in banking. You need to specify. You need to choose and make that decision. Okay, this is my own journey. This is where I'm going next, And just like I said, continuous development, you need to keep yourself abreast of industry, regulations, policies, everything that is changing in the world, right? Even what's happening outside of your jurisdiction. If you're in the compliance space, you need to know what's Russia, whatever all this. I mean, depending on what your own day-to-day basically is, you need to know what all of this means, because just one event or incident can change a country from red in terms of, it's from low risk, to high risk. So you can't rely.
I think somebody has their hand up.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her speak. So you can't rely on, knowledge of yesterday or, So Bez, thanks for that. Sage, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, please. A very good afternoon to you, every Charlotte and everyone here. I think in the submission of Charlotte, she made mention of the fact that if you got a legal background, it helps a lot, if I got it right. So would that mean that some people like us without a legal background, we kind of at some kind of a disadvantage or something? Just wanted to clarify. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. And just to clarify, I have no legal background whatsoever. No legal background, no compliance background, nothing that on paper would say that I have the experience in compliance. However, compliance as an industry, you have transferable skills that would outweigh a degree that is on paper. So the industry I came from previously would be the rail industry, which is heavily regulated, but in a totally different way to legal or finance. But those transferable skills are what allowed me to be able to be at this current level with obviously the skills that I have learned from the bootcamp.
Said,
I
if
hope
you're
that answers
speaking,
the
you're
question.
muted. You're muted if you're speaking. Said. But yes, just like she said, you don't need to have legal background. However, if you do, it means you have a niche that you can take advantage of. You have an advantage you can choose to leverage your own, right? But you do not need to have a legal background to be a compliance professional. But what I said when I talked about legal is that either legal or banking, if you have that experience, then that's where you probably have industry advantage that you can then use when you're applying to those industries. But that doesn't even mean that you cannot explore outside of those industries. You can hear her. She had zero background. She started with banking. She went from banking to consulting, right? She can also choose to go into the legal space, right? There's no limits and there's no ceiling at all. So Kemi, we'll take your question. Every other person that has a question, please drop it in the chat box so that we can just take it quickly and answer them. Kemi, please go on and ask your question.
All right, thank you. Okay, so me, for instance, I had an experience before I came to the UK, because I came to the UK in 2024 for my master's, and I had experience in law. I was a lawyer in Nigeria and I worked for about 3 years. I worked in compliance, but I worked mainly in the energy industry and in the finance industry I worked in the finance industry for about 3 months, but I work mostly in energy industry and in the law firm. But one thing I've realized is that I've made several applications, several applications. And honestly, after applying to several roles, and I literally streamlined my application to compliance, because I realized, I figured that, okay, compliance does not necessarily need me to, do the SQE and the whole, examination process. Is something that I could actually, apply to and possibly get a job. I already have like an experience in it, but a lot of it is rejection. And there was one that I was lucky enough to get an interview, but during the interview stage, they asked me like some questions. They didn't have an issue with my experience. They were like, "Oh, you have experience in this. You've done this. I've done KYC, AML, and all these regulatory filings, such as you know, all these currency transaction, all those things." So but during the interview, what the man said is that, "Oh, I don't have a UK experience. I don't have this. I don't have that. That's a disadvantage." And that sort of really broke me, because honestly, I actually applied for an internship so that I could get experience in the UK, so that it could actually give me some sort of, leverage in the market. However, I said, "Oh, because I don't have experience, I can't even get an internship." I was so sad. And that was when I started doing research, and I saw that, okay, there's an organization called RKY that could really help. And I just want to confirm if RKY could actually provide some sort of, work experience, UK work experience, because employers sort of have like that bias about UK work experience. Like, I don't know if it's an immigrant thing or if they just don't value experience outside of the UK, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if Charlotte wants to take that before I take it.
Yes, I can. I would say definitely the course comes with experience. I hope Ricky doesn't mind me saying that. And I think just to cover your concern, it's more of, it's not that they don't care about experience outside of the UK. It's that the UK is one of the most stringent and structured regulatory environments. So, for example, if you went to the Middle East and you worked in the Middle East for 5 years, you would see the difference between their regulation and their compliance frameworks. So I don't know if any of you guys have looked at, for example, things like the FATF grey list and things like that. There are certain countries on there that don't have that much structure in their AML and KYC and their compliance structures. That's why the UK hold themselves to such a high regard. So if you have worked in the UK, they view it as it's the top level of compliance. That's just how they look at it. So yes, the course definitely comes with experience, and that also helped me so much. And I'm in the UK.
I think you've done justice to that, and you've actually given the non-sentimental reason, really, why in this field. I said it the other time when I was talking about having UK experience. If you have UK experience, is actually high, is considered that you have worked in one of the very highest of standards when it comes to compliance, because the fines and penalties here, like I said, they are not in their thousands, they're always in their millions of pounds. So organizations don't want to be found, they don't want to employ someone that will put them in trouble. Basically, they want someone that gets it. And when they say gets it, like, oh, you've worked in a low, like, for instance, the way we have the risk assessments, there's some areas that are low risk, there's some areas that are high risk. If you've worked in a very high risk region as a compliance person, they feel that if you guys know what you're doing, you probably won't be in the high risk anyway. But what am I trying to say? The UK want to employ people that have UK experience beyond even compliance space. They want you to be able to get it. They want you to be able to, because even for the same job titles, what you do on your day-to-day in a country might be different from what is done in that same job title in another country. So having that, which is why in our bootcamp we don't just train you, we also, that's what I said about letting you understand what happens in the workspace, the politics, the this, the that. All of those things are actually what makes you, those are the things that form the UK work experience. It's not just about being technically being able to do the job. Do you get? So the bootcamp is definitely going to help you. That's why we put the bootcamp together, because we know that bias exists. That if you don't have a UK work experience, it has actually happened to me before. I wasn't even in the compliance space. I came to the UK as a finance professional. When I came, my CV was like my experience. Even I had to narrow down my own experience to one, because I worked in the financial control department of one of the biggest banks in Nigeria. And in that particular department, we work Monday to Sunday. It's so tough there, and I could do a lot of things. I worked in the tax, I worked in regulatory, I worked in management reporting, financial reporting. But when I moved to the UK, I realized that, madam, you need to pick one of all of these your plenty skills. So I picked one, and when I put my CV out there, I was getting calls. Even with just the SEMA, ACCA, this and that on my CV, they're just like, wow, why, like, why are you this, like, why do you love career progression this much? Why are you learning? Why are you trying to do SEMA and ACCA at the same time? Why are you this? Why are you that? But despite that, when I get to those interviews and I talk the way I talk, and which you cannot take away from me, really. There was one particular one, the financial institution. I did really well. I was the only one who passed the technical task. I say that is in my book. For those of you that have gotten my book, I said that story a lot now. The recruiter actually told me that the last stage of the interview is just tick the box, like I'd gotten the job. So I felt like I'd actually gotten the job. And they asked me one question. After I met the director, there was a question they asked me that something about environments, like will you be comfortable to work in a new environment? Like, what do you mean by new? I've always worked in corporates, even though it might not be white people that are there because it's Africa, but it's still the same things. But guess what? I didn't get that job. They didn't even reject me. They didn't reject, they didn't accept. I was just ghosted, right? And that's just to tell you that it exists. The bias, the sentiments, for this part, the people that did this rejection, they are not even white. They're not British either. They might be British, but they are not. They are like on other races too that maybe were born here or something. But what am I trying to say? To answer that question, the bootcamp is actually going to help you to, solve that particular problem. This is what you really need. If you go and do internship, I don't encourage internship. You know why? Internships are good. They have the job title you probably need, but you'll be used for what they need you for in an internship, not what you need to get the job you want to get. Internship roles are advertised because they have a need. That need might not necessarily be the job title, but when you come on to the company, they will use you for whatever they need you for their day-to-day till that period is over. But we in the bootcamp, we teach you what you need to know to be a compliance professional, to pass an interview. So it will be a good use of your 6 weeks rather than going to 3 months internship or volunteering that would not actually, help you. Okay, fantastic. I think we'll take one last question. I think we have one. I told you I was going to prioritize the ones in the chat box. So if you've not dropped your question in the chat box, you're going to be the last person I would take on. So I'm currently working in the bank as a customer team analyst, working mostly with risk compliance and AML. Is it compulsory to have a certification in compliance, or what do you recommend? it's not compulsory to have a certification in compliance, right? However, you will get a certification from the bootcamp, which is CPD. Most of the compliance certification are very, very expensive. They're not things you just dabble into without being sure which area you want to go, because compliance is wide. We have the ICA, we have the CAMS, we have like a wide range of real professional certifications you would actually get if you want to, which takes me to my last question for Charlotte, right? Just to put it in the right context as well for everybody that's, is listening. Charlotte, did you have to do any other certification in compliance, like the CAMS, is it CAMS they call it, or ACAMS, ICA and the likes, before you got a job? After the bootcamp, did you have to do any other compliance related certifications before you got your job, the role?
No, I did nothing. I personally agree with you in terms of the ICA and ACAMs. I think they are useful if you are going down the traditional line of compliance in terms of banking, and if your goal is to maybe be a director in a bank or something like that, or a partner in a law firm. But in terms of general compliance, it is more experience, knowledge, your ability to problem solve, your ability to analyze risk, your ability to understand regulations, whether they be financial regulations or healthcare regulations, insurance regulations, any type of regulatory structure, just the sheer understanding. You would be surprised how many people in all of these industries, these top level jobs, do not have that knowledge or experience. They cannot analyze risk because they know their job.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So that's it, guys. Although I do encourage continuous progression. If you have defined your path, right, and you know that, okay, this is the area I'm going, just like she has said, if you've decided that, okay, I'm in the banking space and I want to progress here till I become an MLRO, till I become a CRO, till I become a C, whatever, then you can chase those certifications. But if you are still trying to transition, or you can do your ACAMS anyways. You can do your ACAMS. It will give you an advantage, but that's not the first thing you need, because we have people that have done ACAMS that still come to do the bootcamp, because practical work experience and industry knowledge is what would put you in the interview room and what will make you pass the interview, not the ACAMS. Those ones, they are curriculum based. You read, you pass, you have the certification. If you put that first, you will spend a lot of money, but you still need to do the bootcamp. Okay, so we'll take this other question. Is the training focused for someone trying to transition into 2LOD or MLRO, or is it generic training covering general compliance? So we've covered what we cover is KYC, AML, anti-money laundering, transaction monitoring, sanctions. We've expanded it now. It's now 6 weeks, and the classes are Saturday and Sunday so that we can have enough time. So it's now like 12 classes in all, compared to even when Charlotte was there, it was just 5 classes, but we've tried to make it even more robust now. So exactly. So I don't know, it's not like an MLRO certification exam. However, if you're already at a senior level, you do this course, it could actually be the UK work experience that is not on your CV that wasn't making you to get calls. You could get an MLRO course role after this. If you are already at that level, it's not this that will get you MLRO role if you're not already there. This is just like, I tell people to see these bootcamps that we do as like an enhancement. If you're already very high, or if you already have the relevant experience, see it as an enhancement of your positioning. And if you don't have any experience at all, it's also a good one to transition. I hope that answers your question. So Tonya says, exactly, I have ICA, but I'm still here with my certificate. I have registered for the bootcamp because I need it. You definitely do, because the ICA on its own is not going to get you the job. And this applies across industries. Right now, the industry, the employers, the recruiters, they don't want just certifications. They want proof that you can roll your sleeve and work from day one. Okay, so I think we've taken Charlotte's time. I don't think we'll be able to take any other question. If you have a question, you can still drop it in the next 1 minute. Charlotte, thank you so much, for this, not only because you're here, for the patience, for taking all the questions. I really appreciate it, and I do hope you're enjoying, the role. And Yeah, basically. Thanks so much. I'll see if we have any other question before we go on, because we still have some things to cover in the slide. So would there be a recording of this live stream? Yes, there will be a recording, and it will be available on YouTube, so you can share with your friends, with anyone that you know that is either foreign trade, anybody that you know that is struggling or trying to get into compliance, or you can see you don't even need to have experience at all. Charlotte, though, what informed your interest in compliance from where you are coming from? What made you choose compliance?
In all honesty, a friend introduced me to compliance, but what I would say is further from that, I realized that compliance is everywhere. Everywhere you go, they have to be compliant with something. And that's what really piqued my interest in terms of the growth, the career growth, the need for people like, everyone in here. There is going to be a need for us. As soon as things go wrong in the world, there is more of a need for us. Everything that is happening, they will need people to be able to analyze risk, because like I said, people at the top levels that have been in these jobs for 20, 30, 40 years, they do not analyze risk in the way that is being taught in this boot camp. And that is what the world is currently needing at the moment.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. So for those of you who are still sitting on the fence, I'm sure you have enough information that you need to make up your mind to join the next cohort. Just like we said, what are you going to get? I think I've mentioned that already. Life expert-led training, 12 months access to the LMS. You will get your CV and LinkedIn done for you. You will get you will get all of those things we mentioned and everything that Charlotte mentioned that helped as well. And for all of this, to be honest, this course should actually be priced at over £2,000, because I'm sure that Charlotte can comfortably pay £2,000 from her salary now, but at the time it was like something she was paying. How would I put it? She can comfortably pay it now that she's in that salary. But if someone asks her now that would she invest £2,000 in what got her to where she is today, the answer would be yes. But for you sitting on the fence, you probably might be like, oh, £2,000 is a lot and all of that. But anyway, we're not charging you £2,000 for the course. The course is just going for £599 at the current discounts, and you can pay in installments using Klarna, ClearPay, PayLater, and all those platforms. If you're joining from Africa, from Nigeria, we have just chat us on any of these WhatsApp numbers and let us know, and we will give you the rates, for your region. However, if you are still sitting on the fence, you want to join the moving train, the cohort starts next week. There's even no time for dilly-dallying anymore. It starts next week. So it's either you're in or you're not. It's February already. We have a lot of people that enter the year with high expectations, lot of plans and all of that. And come April, we are going to have another hiring surge. That is not to say people don't get jobs between now and April, but you just have to be ready to take the opportunities that abound. You can't get opportunities before you're now trying to chase education. All of that preparation has to come before the opportunities. So what am I trying to say? Using Klarna and ClearPay, you can secure your slot with just £199 today and pay monthly after that. And you can pay in full if you want to, one-off. But I think now is the point. The link for you to secure your slot is now in the chat box. Make sure you make that decision that's going to, take your career forward. I have other two people to introduce to you today. They are not here to speak, but you can see their profiles on the screen. I've got Stephanie on the left. Stephanie is currently a compliance monitoring analyst. I think she would even be a compliance manager now, because the last time I spoke to her, she was telling me how managerial roles were chasing her, from left to right. She currently works with Carrie Olsen in Southampton. She also joined the bootcamp, sometimes in 2024. And right after the bootcamp, she got that desired role, So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to show you? This is not, this is people's profile actually, to show that it actually works. We've also got Ademola. Ademola is currently an AML analyst. In fact, Ademola is one of those people that already had accounts, right? He had accounts. We used to work together back in GT Bank. He had accounts. He was already like very top level. And I have a lot of people like that were already top level. And when they come to this country, the people that advise them just say, Oh, thank you so much, Charlotte. It was really great to have you. She's saying thank you to everyone for having her. Good luck to everyone in their journey throughout your careers. I hope to see you all on the other side. Join the bootcamp. It's more than worth it. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for the time and everything. Really appreciated. Really appreciated. So, Demola is currently an AML analyst and is also being poached for like senior roles. That's to let you know that. And they're not even London. You can see Southampton, Bristol. These jobs exist across locations, across industries, and across fields. So what am I trying to say? We have a lot of success story. We've heard Charlotte speak. There's no reason why you're still sitting on the fence. You want to become a compliance manager. This is your starting point. You already have experience. You don't have UK experience. Or you're applying to jobs. You're not getting called back. This is your moment. Okay. And like I said, one of the skills that are very important for you to have is the Excel skills. You need to be able to analyze data. This is another top-up course you can do for just £50. This class happens 2 to 4 p.m. So we always encourage everybody joining any of our boot camps to add this. Ordinarily would have loved to add it up for free to all our courses, but it's to just make it's a separate course. It's 6 weeks on its own. The compliance is 6 weeks, right? If we just do it together, we might probably 3 months later you're still learning something instead of you to be in the job market, already applying to jobs. So this is just £50 or 50,000 naira for those in Nigeria. Everybody needs Excel and PowerPoint because we don't want you to finish that bootcamp and they tell you to do a slide to present your task and you're unable to put it on you're unable to do a slide or you're unable to analyze simple data. If you want to go into the transaction monitoring side, you need to analyze, people's statements, download statement, analyze, look for suspicious transactions and all of that. So I encourage everyone, if you're also checking out, you can just add the Excel to your checkout page and check out. If you've not, you can add it. It's 2 to 4 and it's very interactive and interesting class. We had a lot of people that it was after they even added Excel to the skills. So imagine carrying a skill set that can pay you 80k, but because of Excel or £50, you didn't get the job. I know a lot of people that already had, skill sets that could actually pay them high, but it wasn't until they took our £50 Excel course and started putting the dashboards they built out there that they got interviews and what's it called, recruiters reaching out to them. So you can do this Excel course and then do like analysis related to your industry, talk about it, just link the two together, talk about it. Employers always like people too that are always taking courses. Like I told you, when I did my own application, then when they saw this course, that course, they were just like, only you MSc Financial Technology distinction, only you ACCA, only you ACA, only you CIMA, only you this. Even though some of those courses are just registered for it, I had not even started in terms of the CIMA one that I wanted to do then. The compliance is 4 to 6 Saturday and Sunday. So these are companies where our students have landed jobs. These are a few of them. We have a lot of students across industries from JP Morgan to HSBC to, we even have students in NHS as well, in the compliance side of things. So at RQI Careers, we have over 2,500 success stories. So these are some success stories again. So the question is, are you ready? So the question I'll ask you now is, why have you not taken that step? If you have already secured your slots, let me see your hand raised. So if you have already secured your slots, let me see your hands raised. Just say secured down in the chat box. Let's do that because I think some people's hands were up. If you have already secured your slots, just type secured in the chat box, because you can't. This is 2026. Before you know it, we're already in. By the way, talking about sponsorship, I had a lady that she joined our compliance because she used to work in a care space as well. I think she was even she was a law person. And she was telling me that when she finished the boot camp, she told her employer or something. Basically, they employed her. They moved her from being a carer to being the one to handle their compliance for their company. Handling compliance of people they sponsor, people the paperwork, everything they need basically in terms of compliance, from audits to CQC, this to that. And that was how, the compliance course made that to move from care to the other one. Also, I know that with this compliance, if you also pay there's an exemption, or there's an exemption or registration for those that are foreign trained lawyers. There's a registration you can register with the SRA. Is it SRA that gives that exemption? That you're a foreign trained lawyer. So being a foreign trained lawyer, now add compliance to it, right? You are not just I think that's what Charlotte was saying, that you are like hot cake, right, in this country. Okay, so if you have secured your slots, let me see those who have secured their slots. Somebody is saying, how do I secure? The link has been dropped. Fantastic. So Esohe has secured a slot. Azomta has secured slots. I don't know if Azomta is a lady or a man's name. Toye has secured. Olu Ogunwale has secured their slots. Abigail has secured their slots. Fantastic. Olani Isu is asking, how do I secure my slots? Seidu is secured. Deji Olomofe secured. Queensley wants to know how to secure a slot. Oluwafemi is about to secure a slots. His or her slots. Please secure your slots because we have few slots left. So if you are yet to secure your slots, or you are still sitting on the fence, because I think we still have 30-something people on this, or 34. Why are you still sitting on the fence? Let us know in the chat box. Why have you not secured your slots? To secure your slots, all you need to do today is to go on the link, use Klarna. All you need to secure your slot is £199. This class starts next week. There's no time again. It's either you're on board or you are not. Because if you are not on board, you've wasted another 6 weeks. And before you know it, another 6 weeks. Before you know it, we've gotten to the middle of the year, June. We've gotten to the middle of the year. Before you know it, we are ending the year. We are still on the same spots. Like, that's not the way to be. I've worked with professionals like this for the past 5 years, and I can tell you for a fact, it's the cycle. I see it. People will join session like this. By the time they are joining the next one in maybe, let's say, August, now they'll not be like, I wish I joined the first one, because my friend that joined now is living in a success story. The only regret I have is not joining earlier. All classes are recorded and available on the LMS. On the LMS, you not only have access to the live class, you also have access to a lot of resources, interview prep resources, and so many other resources, right, that would help you not just, get a job, but retain the job. Okay, so yes, you definitely. So this is what the checkout page should look like, and you should select the course of choice. So you can choose Microsoft Excel and compliance. So you can even pay the Excel too. Imagine paying £50 3 times. Is that not like the easiest? So you can pick the two and then choose to pay with Klarna, and then you can pay for the two together in 3 installments. So this is what it should look like if you proceed to checkout. So let me know if you are struggling, and anything is stopping you. So what's the entry level salary for the compliance analyst role? Right. So it depends on the industry. I showed you a chart the other time. So if you want to, you will just click on Klarna like this, and it will tell you. So if you click Klarna changes what you need to. Klarna will tell you, that's credit. If you choose PayPal will let you pay 3 installments. So that's $199 today. If you choose Klarna too would say $199 today, as you can see, interest free, and it's also interest free. So instead of using Klarna to be buying bag and shoe, please let's use Klarna to add value to ourselves. So ClearPay says £149, and then we have Pay Later. Pay Later has quite a range of offerings. So let me take the questions that is holding people back in the chat box. What's the entry level salary? There's no, like, let's do it together. Although this is outside of compliance, there's no entry level salary. Do you get? Because you are not positioning yourself for just like entry level. You are combining this with your previous experience from where you are coming from. You are a corporate person. You're already a professional, right? So even if you want to position yourself for entry level, right, it's let's check it together. Compliance, and like I said, if you are trying to tailor, you can say she works in a consulting company. She said she doubled her salary when she joined the bootcamp. She got a first job. Immediately after, she got a job with the Islamic finance company, bank. Sorry. After that, she got a consulting job, a senior. When I saw her success story, when she filled it, when she got the job, senior compliance something consultant or something, and she was able to double her salary in the UK. So meaning, if she got her first job at 60K, she doubled her salary. Or if the first one was 50K, doubled. Even if it was 40K, double of that is still 80K. Compliance analyst role. So I always like Indeed. I don't know. Okay. So I don't know if you can still see my screen. Right. So depending on the industry, the company, the budgets, this is 45,000. So this is 45,000. This is 32 to 38,000. There will always be different salaries. It depends on, the one that's, and I don't even think this is I used a very generic. So this is 38,000, 39,000. Right, 45,000. So it depends, it depends on where you apply to, right? But, it's a very high paying role, right? And you can always progress further. So even if you get your first job as 38 or 40K, you can 2 months after, you're already applying to another job again that would make you go higher. That's exactly what she did. Okay. I've registered for the 20, but I can see pending course of my work. Can I start with the modules before the 28th? Yes, you can open it and, try to start. So I think we do have pre-recorded sessions as well that you can actually start to study before the class starts. What time is the compliance training? It is 4 to 6. I can't secure now. Please give me tonight's time. I am driving right now. Please, as soon as you're able to, make sure you secure your slots, because we don't also always have like a big class, so we always get sold out pretty quickly. Okay, so I've answered most of the questions. How can people in Nigeria join and how much? What's the payments plan for us? So for people in Nigeria, if you send a message to the WhatsApp group available, they'll tell you, I think is it not 700K or 500K? I can't remember right now. And they will tell you the installments plans that are available as well. The thing is about Nigeria is that we don't have a lot of buy now, pay later companies like Klarna that makes life easy. But we are still exploring some partnerships with some of them. So chat any of those numbers and they will tell you what the rate is. Fantastic. So Olani has also secured the slots. Beautiful. So I think, let me see what else I've got on I still have a couple of things to say. So like I said, beyond also, training, upskilling, it's also important to attend events. Attend events. Limitless Without Borders. I think we even have, can we drop the Eventbrite link for Limitless Without Borders? We're officially opening the sales of tickets for Limitless Without Borders for early bird, just for a limited time, today. So you'll be the first set of people to secure your slots. This event is actually an event by us. As you have also secured your slots, you are now part of the RKY community. This event is being planned usually by alumni. We have a planning team who are also alumni. So it's always done by us for us. We just bring value to ourselves. So this is your opportunity to secure your slots at the early bird rates. Where is it safe? Where can I get the link to the Eventbrite? Fidelis, can you help me get it from the group? My WhatsApp is hanging. Can you help me get it and drop it in the chat box? So what is going to happen at Limitless Without Borders in June? It's a tech networking event, an award especially to uplift ethnic minority and immigrant community. It aims to unite individuals from diverse backgrounds, panel discussions around career tech, finance, entrepreneurship, and many more. Award ceremony, fun, music, entertainment, games, raffle draws, and much more. There's also always an opportunity to win scholarships, to win business launchpad. You can see how we celebrated people within because we know that there's so many immigrants. Okay, so the link to the Eventbrite for LWB has also been dropped. So please, you can, it's just £15 or thereabouts for early bed. So please, because we don't know when next we'll have an opportunity. I don't know if you guys are following Limitless Without Borders. So that's why I'm dropping this here so we can save it. We also have a podcast, where what's it called? We amplify the voice of immigrants, or where I actually personally just mentor and coach people. For those that are looking to get into business as well, we have a RKY Business Hub. You will hear more about our launch, our remodeling. Sorry, we had a cohort last year for those that want to get into business, because I have not just built one business in this UK, I've built 5 successful businesses that you guys have heard about at the beginning of the session. So talking about compliance again, we have installment options. You have no excuse. 199 every month for 3 months from your salary to actually upscale your salary. It shouldn't be too much of a sacrifice for you. And for those busy professionals who are trying to apply to jobs but don't have the time, we've got the Apply Body service that can help you. And here, as interviews we've gotten for our students from the Apply Body side. But like I always say, I always tell people to try to apply to jobs themselves, right? Because it's the cheapest and the only free way you can do it. But if you feel that you don't have the time, then you definitely want to explore those that can help you do it while you do other things. Let me tell you the best part. You've joined this program today. Do you know you can even start making money from today as well through our affiliates program? If you can drop the affiliates program, don't join this program alone. Register, get your link, share your link and your testimony of what you've joined today to a friend. Tell them to come and better their life as well, and come and join the course, and then you earn 10% of what they pay as an income. If you have a blog, put it in your blog. Let people click your link, join the bootcamp just like you, and you earn from it. If you have Instagram, put it on your link on your bio. What am I trying to say? You can also refer people to our program and earn from it. So if you are helping their life, you're also getting rewarded. For a long time, we always get referrals, but now we have a program that allows us to reward people that are referring to us. So compliance starts on the 28th of February. Excel starts on the 7th of March. Digital marketing starts March 14th. So we don't just train for only Excel and compliance. We also have a range of courses. Product management, March. Data analysis, March 7. PMBA, March 7. So we have a range of courses starting on the 7th of March. So I don't know if you have any questions before we call it a day, but this session is recorded and will be available on YouTube for replay. If you don't subscribe to our YouTube, or if you don't follow us on YouTube, this is the time you want to do that, because on the YouTube, not only do you have this session that will be coming up, there are so many sessions that we upload from time to time that are also recordings of sessions like this. And in RKY, most of our courses also allow, it starts at 4 p.m. We showcase our project. It's only in compliance we don't do that, because compliance projects are quite confidential, right? But across our other courses, on our YouTube page, we actually do showcase what our students are actually working on in their work experience. So when we say work experience, RKY Careers is the only place where people actually gain that work experience, right, before going into the industry. But one thing I want to say again, before, so that is that we need to play our parts. Bootcamps alone and is not what is going to save you. You've paid for the bootcamp, but it doesn't end in these payments. When Saturday next week, attend the class. Ask questions, contribute, watch the video before the class. We always make some videos available before class. Watch the video before the class. Come to class with questions. Challenge your trainers. That's the only way that you can get value out of it. If you happen to miss a class, it's okay. We have video. Go and watch the recording. Use your off day, because there's no way you work 7 days. And if you're working 7 days, I don't know what to say, maybe at night. Use your off day to sit down and catch up. Success is never accidental. We always have to work. I'm right now here now. There's so many things I could be doing. You are here right now. Let it be worth it, right? Let it be worth it by giving it your best after you pay. Your payments is just the beginning. Now you have to actually be intentional. And this is what I want to get out of this. we are with you every step of the way, right, to make sure that you get the best out of it. So this is what our YouTube page looks like under RQI Careers. So make sure you subscribe so that you can get notified. If you have anybody that you want to share your affiliate link with, you can also get the link to the YouTube video to send to them so they can actually be convinced. But we have a lot of videos as well already there, safe that, you know. Yeah, we have a lot of videos already there. And I think this is a video from LWB as well, the event I was talking about, the one that happened last year. So there's a lot of content. So subscribe to our YouTube so that you can get notified when the videos are up. So I don't know if we still have any questions at all before we call it a day. 4 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. UK time, please.
Yes, I have a question.
All right, go on.
I've been intending. I'm a master's student right here in Sweden. So, and I've been getting your mails since last year. Anyway, but I really wanted to transition to compliance. I'm a lawyer. So, but my fear is the recent immigration policy in the US I said in the US, in the UK concerning ILR, COS, and all these things. Because I was like, what if at the end of the day, it's going to be quite competitive, from what I've been hearing, getting COS and all that. So I just wanted to, like, before I make my next move, I have to be really sure what I'm putting my legs into. So many people say, don't consider the UK for now. Don't even hear the UK. So, and when you are abroad, timing is of essence. You have to really calculate. Sweden is not my final destination. In fact, it's not even somewhere I would advise someone to come and settle, especially a young person to come and settle down. Yeah, so I just wanted to know concerning the immigration policy, would you advise someone like me outside the UK to proceed on this kind of adventure? That's just my question. Hello.
Yeah. I'm here. Okay, good question. So you're currently at Sweden.
In Sweden, yeah. I'm a master student in Sweden, and I'll be completing my program in June.
Right. But you don't encourage anyone to, you don't want to settle in Sweden, yeah? You want to move to the UK.
No, it's as bad as Nigeria is currently now. I would in terms, I'm talking about opportunities. Every other thing is okay, but opportunity, no, it's not. It's for me. I don't know of any other person.
I mean, the thing is that that from anywhere in the world you can work remotely. The world is now a very small and global village, and compliance skill sets. We even talked about compliance skill sets even being outsourced, right, outside of the UK. In some companies, or So I feel that what's very important is actually getting those skills. Those skills actually are like global passports that you can use it anywhere. You can finish this bootcamp and try to get US job from that Sweden, so that you don't even need to move to any other country, and you are getting dollars. There are people like that, and you can even get remote UK job from that Sweden that you are, such that you don't need to be looking for sponsorship or moving up and down. But these skill sets are like the passports that would help you to actually position yourself, for global opportunities as well. So I wouldn't say UK I wouldn't say, because everything globally, like there are different immigration policies globally. Do you get? And I don't know about Sweden, but UK is quite tight now. Even people in the UK are struggling to get sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
Same thing here.
Yeah, I wouldn't say leave Sweden to come to the UK, but I'm sure there will also be multinational banks in that Sweden that are looking for probably English speakers that can do compliance work, that you can then position yourself and get what you need, because you also have the education from Sweden and everything. So there'll be, because every country, even if they are not speaking English, they will have a few companies that are English speaking, that, you know, are employing people that have international exposure and can speak English. Either that or remote related roles. But that is not to say that you can't still get roles that will sponsor you across borders. But, you know, just keep your basket wide, really. Or cast your net wide, and don't overlook opportunities where you have a strong advantage in your current location as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless
You're
you.
welcome. All right. So do we have any other question before we call it a day?
No other question. Thank
All
you.
right. So if there's no other question, it's been a lovely one. I mean, I've had so much fun, right? Oh, someone say yes, please. Okay. What's your question? What's your question? I'm interested in remote jobs. Yeah, a lot of KYC compliance related roles are always remote. So even if you're within the UK and you get those jobs, they are usually, remote in nature. So yeah, that's another reason to get into the compliance space. You know, there are opportunities that don't require you chasing the bus to go for your next shift, basically. So please, does the CV and LinkedIn optimization attract a separate fee, or is it part of the training? It's free. It's part of the training. So for the $5.99 you paid, you get training, you get work experience, you get CV, you get LinkedIn for free. You will get certificate of completion. You will get work reference when you get a job. And you know, for every job you get, you would still continue to get confirmation. So if you get your first job, you're coming back. So that's why you should not burn bridges soon. You will come back because the experience on your CV needs verification. When you get the next one, you will come back, right? You come back again. So we are actually part of your journey for as long as you want us to be, right? And you also get monthly webinars where we bring people in to talk about, even like when you now get that job and you're settled, okay, let's talk about property. And then you have opportunities to attend events like this that we also put together. You know, our ecosystem actually has a lot of value for you. So when you join our community, when you join our ecosystem, there's just a lot to tap into at no extra fee, of course. But some of them, like the events, for instance, require you, buying the tickets. But they are not even, there's nothing that you pay for that is even as much as whatever you paid for the training. Okay, any other question? No other question. Okay, in the absence of any other question, I would want you guys to have a lovely, lovely weekend. The recording for this will be up latest tomorrow evening. Okay, Toyin have wanted to speak for a while.
Yes, so you refuse to call me all this while.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. I wanted to ask about you know when we were, I don't know, I usually get these emails like, oh, you can visa sponsorship update and stuff like that.
Yeah, from us.
From clients that offer sponsorship.
From us, right?
Yes, I always get these emails like, oh, like newsletters. Yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not. Each time they send it, I don't see anyone for compliance because me, I've started applying to jobs already. Yeah, I've already started applying to jobs because, like I said, I already have my ICA. Although I've not done any projects because ICA is self-taught.
Exactly.
That's why I really like. Yeah, that's why I decided. You know what? Let me do this one. And I mean, I've been watching the replay from the bootcamp, the past bootcamp. I've been watching the replays. I think I've even finished it. So yeah, I'm like, okay, this is what I need now. But then I haven't even gotten to interview stage.
Don't worry, you will get there. Yeah. So to answer your question about visa sponsorship, right now, getting visa sponsorship requires. So yes, we do have a visa sponsorship job board. Where we actually we are the only ones that offer this for free. Most people, that's their, like, in the tech space now, some people's business can just be having a job board and you pay subscription to have access to it, right? We are the only one that have a free job board where we actually manually search for visa sponsorship jobs to put in it, because if we use technology to get those jobs, even jobs that have said no visa sponsorship available, the automation will scrape them because they have the keyword. We manually sit down, search for this job, upload it on our job board, and we make it available for free. So that's just something we do for the community, and we send it via email every Tuesdays, I think. But to answer your question about what you find or what you don't find in these jobs, getting visa sponsorship now is not even a matter of just applying to jobs where they've said visa sponsorship available. It's about casting your net wide, showing your value, showing your experience, letting them see the advantage you bring to the table, and leaving them to make that decision. If a company finds somebody that is way above and beyond their expectation, they will do anything and everything to keep them. So I'll say, do not have that create a ceiling in your head about whether or not you can get sponsorship in that space. Do you get? Just cast your net wide, get the interviews. That's the first thing you need to do. So there are so many things you need to fix right now, because you need to start getting those interviews. And to get those interviews, you need to have the skill set. Your CV needs to show that you have that experience. Everything needs to just tick. And then start doing the interviews. Because if you don't even pass interview, if you don't get interview, how can you get to conversations of sponsorship?
Exactly.
So that is what you need to. Exactly. You need to cross the bridge before you talk about what will happen after the bridge. So, however, one of the things you also get in our own community is that we open your eyes to other ways you can actually get settlements in the UK. That's why you must attend the LWB event as well. One of the endorsing bodies of the Innovator Visa is one of our sponsors, and they will be coming to host a workshop on how you should position yourself for Innovator Visa. We also have different sessions. Even if you are on the LMS, if you have the alumni resources, just go and sit down and watch. We have sessions talking about global talents. We have our alumni that have gone ahead to get self-sponsorship. We have our alumni that have gone ahead to start businesses. We even have a business ecosystem separately, where if you want to start a successful business in the UK, you can do that as well. What am I trying to say? We are like an all-round community serving the immigrants community. We know the pain points at different levels there. So joining the community is the first thing you want to do. And while you are positioning yourself for sponsorship here, you're also opening your head up to other things you can do. If there's a business you can start to position yourself, by all means as well. Because when you need something, you have to do everything you have to do to get it. What you need right now is not sponsorship. What you need is UK settlements. Sponsorship is one of the ways to get it. There are other ways as well to get it that you need to start exploring and opening up your head to prepare for before you're desperate for it. That is the mindset we actually teach our own students here to have. Because some people will end up getting those settlements, then they don't have a skill to now use to get a job, because most of them still come with you trying to get a job at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I feel that with your advantage of having ICA, which you should, position strategically in your CV, plus the bootcamp and your experience, the bootcamp that will now give you experience to showcase and demonstrate in compliance space, you should position yourself for roles that that, yes, first of all, they meet all the requirements for COS. And, you talk like an expert. So you put in what you have to put in as well to position yourself as an expert. They sponsor in the compliance space, and not all jobs that sponsor add it in their adverts that they will sponsor in the first place.
True. I said in the chat, I dropped in the chat that I can't join the alumni. Each time I try to check out, it gave me a coupon code to use.
Mm.
And when I apply it, it still takes me back to put my card details. It doesn't say free at checkout. And it said I should, if I have issues, I should chat the WhatsApp, but we can't speak on the WhatsApp. So
yes,
yeah,
because it's,
yeah.
If you drop your email here, I can help you. I can enroll you manually after this call.
Okay.
Drop your email in the chat box.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hi, Ricky, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I want to ask this question because each time I apply, there's always this option that says that, will you be needing a sponsorship in the future, or will you need
good question
for your visa status or whatever? Right now, I currently have a graduate visa. So a lot of times I'll just put, okay, I currently have a graduate visa. However, I might need sponsorship, in the future. Well, I feel like each time all the applications I've done that to, it's an automatic rejection. It's like they don't even want to, play around with me or anything. But there were some that I lied that I won't be needing any sort of sponsorship, and I sort of got interview from them. But I don't know. Is it like I'm overthinking, or could it be like it's a factor that they consider?
That question you just asked me. If you had asked me this question about 3 years ago, right, when the market was not as it is right now, what you've been doing is what I would recommend that you do. Because let's not lie to ourselves, that bias exists. That bias exists. But right now, from recent information, companies are not happy that people are saying they don't need sponsorship when they need it. And they're actually like blacklisting people that's even like, but that's just one or two people. At the end of the day, it's up to you to choose what you want to take, right? Some companies, the truth is that maybe they don't have plans to sponsor, right? So the moment you take that, definitely they want you to be filtered out of, they won't even get your, the truth is they won't even see your application, because they've put it there that for you to tell me that this person is a good fit, because I placed job ad on LinkedIn, the person is to say no to this question. If they should say yes, they are not good fit, so I won't even see them. However, there's also the place of integrity and them seeing you as lying too, which would make them blacklists. There's a Reddit link that was sent to me where, or there was a Reddit link where they were saying that people were ticking that they don't need sponsorship, but they need sponsorship. Some people were trying to explain to them that, yeah, they don't need it now, but they need it later. But some people see it as lying, but that's why they put, will you need it anytime in the future? So there's some people see it as lying, and if you lie on your application, it is unethical to lie on your application. So there are just some dicey situations we find ourselves, which is why I said that we need to have our own community where we can safely discuss some things, right? And basically, so I don't know if I answered your question, if I confused you the more, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Right? Okay.
But you're right to say that you applied, and they didn't call you. But the one where you now think you don't need, they called you. That's the reality. That's the reality. Those are the pain points. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other question? Okay, in the absence of any other question, it's been a lovely how many hours? For those of you that said secured, I hope, when did you guys secure? Because I can't see you're securing today. Did you secure before today? Have you all secured before today?
I secured before today. I secured like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
I chatted you on Instagram and then you sent me the link.
Okay, because it's only Olani that I saw secured today, and then Christopher. Christopher tried to secure, but it didn't go through. Christopher, you might want to try again. It didn't go through from our end. Yeah, Olani secured a few minutes ago. Anyways, I think some people said we should also give them to when they later today, but make sure you secure your slots. RKY Careers is your best bet. I'm sure like somebody must have referred you and they must have told you their experience as well. And that's where I will end it right now. I wish you all a very lovely rest of your weekend, and see you all in class and see you on the other side.